Good morning, vinyl community. It's David Michael. How you doing? It's Black Friday, but more importantly, it's Record Store Day. And I know a lot of people don't like Record Store. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But I love it. So cheers to Record Store Day. I am a big fan of Record Store Day. Like I've talked about in my other videos, I was in the music retail business, owning stores for 2 decades. So I kind of saw firsthand the difference it would make to an independent record store. So to that extent, I continue to support it even though I'm not in that line of business anymore. So if you watch my last video with the Metallica, lining up for Record Store Day or lining up for a new release is kind of a new thing that I have to get used to now. Like, I know boo-hoo-hoo. But, yeah, so this morning I went out to my favorite local record store. And I know this Record Store Day is a little bit of a lesser Record Store Day usually for titles. But there was some good stuff. I'll show you what I got for Record Store Day shortly. And then I'll show you some of my used finds from thrift stores this week. So anyways, like I said, lined up early this morning, was first in line. There wasn't a tremendous lineup, as there never really is for the kind of the Black Friday Record Store Day. But there was a couple titles I had to have, and I wasn't going to chance losing out on them. So, without further ado, I'll show you what I got for Record Store Day today. I think everything that I wanted, I got. I was most excited about the Iron Maiden, Brave New World, but I got tipped off by a friend of mine who works at this store that title got canceled. So that was kind of the big one I wanted this year, and it's no more, which kind of tells me I think they're going to plan another reissue series in the Iron Maiden, because they kind of stopped off at a certain point and then the 90s stuff got left. So I'm hanging on to hope that the Iron Maidens will come out eventually. So, but what I did get today is Bob and Doug McKenzie, 12 Days of Christmas. I mean, it's a Canadian Christmas classic, isn't it? And the B-side is Take Off with Geddy Lee from Rush. So right there. And the store I went to only had one copy. So that was mine, being first in line. Second of all was something I didn't even realize was coming out. Even though I studied the Record Store Day list up and down, making sure that I kind of got what I wanted, was the Tragically Hip, Tired as Fuck. This is a song off their last album, and it's numbered, and the B-side is an unreleased edit or radio version of At the 100th Meridian. So those are the two 7-inch singles I got today, and both are distinctly Canadian. So this was quite the thrill to find today. Like I said, I had no idea it was coming out. So, green vinyl. So, that made me very happy. So, there was only 2 albums that I absolutely wanted. There's a lot of other ones that usually if I have more money, I might pick up on the day. There's my core Record Store Day list, and then there's kind of stuff that I'll make some decisions on. But the Black Friday one, it's kind of, for me personally, it's not a good time to be irresponsible with money. It's close to Christmas. I have kids and wife and, gifts to buy. And so, I mean, every other album I would have bought other than my core list could have been a gift for someone, or my son or daughter or whatever. So, there was only 2 core ones that I wanted this year, other than the Iron Maiden I talked about that was canceled. Sorry. Big Star. You're listening to Radio City right now, their second album, but what came out today is the demos for the sessions for their third album. Now, I have a copy of the regular album on vinyl. There's different titles for their third album. I guess they're calling this one Complete Third. And this is volume 1, so I assume there's more volumes coming out. This is a double vinyl. I'm a complete Big Star junkie. So I was really excited to see that. the store had a couple copies in, and I felt like I had octopus tentacle arms because I was just grabbing, somehow I was able to grab the things I wanted pretty quickly. That's probably years of practice. There you go, Big Star. Very, very happy with that one. And the other one, excuse me, is probably something that you kind of, I'm going to show you and you're going to think, eh? But the Bangles. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bangles. Now, before they were the Bangles, some of you might know this about the Bangles and some might not, is before they were the Manic Monday type Bangles, they were kind of a really good band called the Bangs. And they were kind of like a 60s throwback, very Beatles, very Byrds sounding. And then they got signed to a major label. And although their first major label album had tinges of this, like going back to Liverpool, songs like that off their first album, they kind of, after that, they kind of turned into the kind of like the pop band we all know them for. But they were called the Bangs. As you can tell by their dresses, very 60s retro. And the Bangs were championed by Rodney Bingenheimer. God, I lined up way too early this morning, didn't I? Rodney on the Rock. There you go. From K-Rock Radio. He was an early champion of the Bangs. So their early stuff is really, really quite good. And like I said, it's very Beatles and Byrds. And these are some of the songs they did as the Bangs. And these are some demos. There's a cover of 7 and 7 Is by Love. So Big Star and the Bangles, which really it should be called the Bangs, really. Because that's what they were called at the time. But there was another band, I think, called the Bangs. So they kind of extended it to the Bangles. And that was probably more than you needed to know about this album. But I was really excited to get this because it's, I think it's the first time on vinyl, it says here. And this kind of version of the Bangles I'm a really big fan of. So those four were the ones I got for Record Store Day. And then what I got thrown in too is I got a Metallica slip mat for my turntable. The record store threw that in for me. So that will go on to my turntable right away. What I got for thrift store records this week, and there's a couple albums I got on trade credit as well. The first couple are thrift store finds. Sorry, put them in order for you. But I got a copy of The Peels, Juanita Banana. This is an original pressing on Phonodisc in Canada. And this is probably, I think, the second copy I've found now in 2 years. It's quite the rare record. It's the original Karate Records. And it goes for a few dollars. So, like I said, when I saw this for $1, I think this is definitely an upgrade copy to the one I have. So that one I can kind of maybe flip for something else. But the Peels, got that for $1 at thrift store. Tiny Tim, God bless Tiny Tim. Another rare bird. I've never actually seen this at a thrift store before. And God knows I go there quite a lot. What a very weird album this is. You wouldn't think this of Tiny Tim, and some of you probably know this album, some might not. It's kind of a trippy album. Very odd, very weird. So that was found as well the same day as I found the Peels. And a couple more, actually only one more thrift store finds, and then there was some stuff I got on trade credit this week. April Wine Electric Jewels. April Wine, I'm sure people in the US might know them. They are definitely a staple of Canadian radio. In fact, if you listen to classic rock radio in Canada, it's probably 75% April Wine. But the early April Wine stuff is really, really good. Their first album is really great, really psych influenced. And this one is an original pressing on Aquarius Records. And this one is quite good as well. So I recommend checking this one out too if you ever happen to see it or sample online. Stuff I got with trade credit this week. I got the only Fleetwood Mac album I was missing. And it's one of those ones that when I saw this in the store, I checked back onto my phone where I keep a listing of a lot of the records I own via Discogs and whatnot. But Heroes are hard to find. And for some odd reason, I didn't have this album. Probably because it didn't strike me as important, the Bob Welch years. But I've grown to appreciate the albums that he did with Fleetwood Mac. I think they're quite underrated. So Heroes are hard to find. One of the more exciting ones I found this week, Iggy Pop, Brick by Brick. Another rare one. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen this in my hands in person on vinyl. So this is, I mean, some of you might know this is a really great album. I highly recommend this one. But when I saw this, I knew it was coming home with me. Iggy Pop, Brick by Brick. I'm a huge Golden Earring nerd, the Dutch band. I go through phases, like a lot of bands, where I'm just like, that's all I'm listening to. And I'm quite fond of their early stuff. And I found this. It's a double album compilation from Germany. It's in absolutely mint condition. It's on Polydor. It's primarily their late 60s, early 70s stuff. So it ranges from early psych influence stuff to very progressive rock sounding stuff on this one. I highly recommend older Golden Earring. A lot of people know them for Radar Love, and then in the 80s, Twilight Zone. But there's a whole lot before Radar Love and before the Twilight Zone, and even some stuff after that that is really insanely good. So this is a double album of a compilation of the early works of Golden Earring. I'm very, very thrilled. I'm still looking for early original pressings of Golden Earring albums that I don't have. So this will, although I have them on CD, this will fill the void for now. So this is called Once Upon a Time. I saved this for last, not for any reason, because it's very unspectacular. It just was last in the pile. Was UK. UK was a progressive rock band, and I'm going to John Wetton from King Crimson and Asia, Alan Holdsworth, Bill Bruford. We all know Bill Bruford. Eddie Jobson's on this, and they were kind of like, I don't know, I hate to use the word supergroup, but that's kind of what they were. I know there's this kind of divides people a lot. A lot of people can't stand this album, and there's a lot of people who just love UK, and I kind of fall in the I can't say I love UK, but it's very, very good progressive rock. So another one I would recommend checking out, sampling, and see if you like it. So that was my record store day today, and that was my used finds from the week so far. I hope everyone is doing well. If you're watching my videos, I can't thank you enough. If you're subscribing, I can't thank you enough. I've had a lot of nights with time to kill, and I've been watching a lot of your videos. I always mean to give shout outs to people who are always nice enough to comment and like my videos. And once again, I was in kind of a rush to get home and kind of show what I got for Record Store Day that I forgot to make a list, and I don't want to leave anyone out. But if you regularly comment and like my videos, I want to say thank you. And I've been really, like I always said, I've had spare time to watch your videos, and I've really been enjoying them. So thank you. Keep up the good work, everyone. I hope you like what you saw today. So this is David and Michael from the Vinyl Community. I hope you all have a great rest of the week and a great weekend. And if you're going off a Black Friday, bless you and good luck to you, because I'm staying home listening to records all day. So take care, everyone.